And so now we need to look at the steps needed to conduct an ANOVA. First thing we'll do is state the null and alternate hypothesis. And so for the null hypothesis, we're going to state that mean 1 equals mean 2 equals mean 3, etc. for as many means as we have. We always have equality for the null hypothesis. When it comes to our alternative or alternate hypothesis, we're going to write in words, at least one mean is different from the others. This is our not equal to, right? They don't actually all need to be different, and one doesn't need to be bigger or smaller. We just say at least one is different. Next, we need to find the critical value. And for this, we're going to use the F distribution, but new to us is we need 2 different degrees of freedom. So we need to understand that. And there's a different table for every alpha, for every significance level. Now with the t-table, there was a different table and they just gave us some key values merged into one giant table. That will not be the case. There will be multiple tables based on the significance level. So the first thing we need is the degrees of freedom for the numerator, abbreviated DFN for numerator. And this is k minus 1. And if you remember from the previous video, k is the number of groups, and that's what we'll subtract 1 from. And this is going to tell us which column to look in. And next, we need the degrees of freedom for the denominator, abbreviated DF capital D, which will tell us which row to look across from. This is found by capital N minus k, where capital N is the total count of values minus the number of groups. So remember, we have to find out how many total values of all the groups combined, and that's what we'll subtract the number of groups from. Next, we need to figure out the test statistic, and this is found by conducting an F-test. And the F-test is just a ratio of the variance between the means and within the means. So we're writing it as F equals the variance between the means divided by, so it's a ratio, the variance within the means or within the groups. And, you know, if you needed to remember it, I always think it goes in alpha order. B comes before W, so B's on top, although you'll have the formula. We're going to round our answer to 2 decimal values, but obviously that depends on how the question is asked. Then we can compare our test statistic and critical value to decide if we reject or fail to reject H naught and write our final conclusion using the same guidelines.